You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L podcast.
Rockin' and rolling, we have CT Films in the building. What's happening, my boy?
Oh, we started?
Yeah, we're on, man.
That's crazy. I thought she was gonna give me more energy.
No, man, this is
That was kind of lax.
You know, because man, I don't have to be excited about you. Your name stands on its own. Am I right or am I right?
No, I told you I feel like I made it because I'm finally here.
No, you made it a long time ago, man. You were one of the fundamental pieces in creating and helping curate the Detroit visual style. Your music videos stand out. You were one of the only guys who was able to do it, and the aesthetics that you used and the way that you did it, and many people tried to replicate you but failed. So you definitely stand out majorly in Detroit. As far as your visuals are concerned, you're still the go-to for street rap music videos in Detroit, in my opinion. If anything goes wrong with your phone, and I mean anything, whether it cracks, breaks, or you need something replaced, go to iFix Detroit. They are a phone repair store. They also offer prepaid services. Not only do they offer repairs, but they are a fully equipped electronics store. They offer prepaid plans, and they are a bill payment center. You can get to iFix Detroit Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're located at 16401 East Warren Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. iFix Detroit for all your phone repair services and more.
You know who's sweet right now
Mm-hmm.
that I fuck with? Ty Films.
Mm-hmm.
He remind me, him and the, I think his name like Matt Rollback or some shit. I don't know for sure, but them two, like they remind me of how I was like when I used to be in the hood for like $50, like pulling up on blocks with like one house on the street type shit. Like they shit remind me of my shit when I used to start. So shout out to them because I've been watching their videos a lot lately.
When I was first entering the rap underground scene in Detroit in 2017, you and Lace Visuals were like toe-to-toe as the main guys to go for that look. That just this is actually happening right now look. And it was still cool even though it was just guys smoking weed basically. Right? So you made it happen. And then obviously you got the Jerry PhD who stood out as well. BMVP was standing out as well. You guys all brought something different to the table. But yours is still a stamp to this day. You've accumulated probably hundreds of millions of views with your visuals, right?
Oh yeah, I'm for sure at like over 100 million on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Talk a little bit about the beginning of CT Films, man. Where did it all start?
Shit. Summertime, I used to get left in my grandma's house, and I just remember watching MTV Jams for hours and hours, watching music videos. And then my dad do photography too. Like he used to do photography back in the day when you used to take the disposable camera to like CVS or some shit, but he used to have that shit in the basement. So I always been around like cameras and home videos. And then, you know, I grew up in Detroit, so I grew up around StuntHard. Like all the people that was in StuntHard knew people that I was associated with. So when it was time for me to like actually like step out and shoot music videos, it was easy for me because I'd already knew like the type of people in Detroit that was already starting to like rap scene. And then when I started, it was like Dope Boys Cash Out. And it's crazy too because I do editing work for this station that used to play. Like I'm dating myself right now, but I used to watch this shit called 7 Mile to Belle Isle. That shit used to come on, literally. That shit used to come on at nighttime, and I used to watch that shit faithfully. I was like just blown away of like the Detroit culture because I stayed on 7 Mile in Archdale, but my mama never let me go off the block. Like I only knew like 2 blocks. So when I was watching 7 Mile to Belle Isle, I just seen like it was a whole like rap scene out there, and I was already watching music videos, so it just made sense. And then I was already shooting videos too, so like everything just came together in perfect time. Like when I started shooting videos was like when the new wave, like Chief Keef had just put a spotlight on Detroit. So I think the Chief Keef thing really like propelled me because that was like one of the biggest rappers at the time. And for him to, this back when Instagram, like Chief Keef would like your picture and everybody can see that Chief Keef liked your picture. And I got like probably like 10,000 followers just off of that type of shit. Like, so I just started at the right time.
Yeah, so early on, was visuals the first thing on your mind as far as what you wanted to do? Was that like...
I know what's crazy is somebody had to tell me that I could make money off of videos. I was doing videos just because I thought that shit was like some fun shit to do. Like I'm an only child too, so like I was weird as hell growing up. Like I would sit in front. I would make videos by myself, set up a tripod. Like I said, my dad was a photographer, so all the equipment was already in my crib. I used to set up videos by myself, shoot myself, edit myself.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, like as soon as somebody told me I could make money off of it, from there, like my life just changed.
Yeah. And so, what year are you roughly talking about where you feel like you first grabbed the camera? What up?
That's an ashtray.
Oh, you want to pull that ashtray and bring it to the center of the couch so you can easily ash it or whatever the fuck. Do you remember the first, or how old you were when you first picked up a camera?
I had to been like 11, 12. Like I got shit that you need a VCR to watch.
Right. And so, how long did it take before you actually broke into a professional business?
I went to this church on 7 Mile and Telegraph called Greater Grace Temple, and they had a TV ministry, like state of the art at that time, like $1 million. And I started like pulling cable there, which led me into getting on the camera. Then they found out I was good at the camera. I knew I was good at the camera, but I felt like going through that process just made me better because I got to do it from the ground up. Like I had to pull cable for the cameraman, and then I could finally work the camera by myself. And then that turned into me working at like one of the biggest gospel TV stations in the world. So like everything I've been doing just been a process.
Yeah. So you start working at the church, and that's when you start getting hands-on with the camera. When does that lead into you breaking into making music in Detroit, music videos for Detroit artists?
Like I said, I grew up on 7 Mile, so like I literally grew up around StuntHard. Like we used to go to parties together, all that type of shit. So I want to say I connected it back when, like I said, Chief Keef was like a big artist back then. So I seen what Yae was doing, like the going to people's houses and shooting trap videos, and that just connected for me. Like Detroit needed that type of somebody that could just pull up and shoot music videos on it. I didn't know what Run and Gun was until like probably like 4 years ago, but I was just the type of person, like I said, I knew them already, so it wasn't no issue with me to just pull up to the cribs they was at and shoot a video and go back to the crib and edit it.
Right. So you had like a fast turnaround time and everything like that. You were just like straight to go shoot, get it back to them.
I ain't gonna say fast turnaround, but it was just more so I made accessible music. Like, because back when I first started, it was only TMB, it was TMB back then, like TMB and like just people that wasn't fit for, like, they not about to pull up with all that equipment to go shoot in the hood with some people that don't even got a rap career started yet.
Right, and with TMB, you know, they were working with Doughboy's Cash Out and really bringing out some visuals and stuff. But to actually get somebody to pull up on you with camera equipment would cost a lot of money until DSLRs became more accessible with the cost.
In my first video, like I said, I was working at a gospel TV station. So when I shot my first Detroit rap video with StuntHard, I had all their equipment. I pulled up on them with like 3 P2s, all my lighting equipment. I had like 2 people with me shooting cameras. But that was like before, like, I spent like $600 on the 60D back at the time. But I was using my church equipment to go shoot hood videos.
Right. Brilliant. So you saved a lot of money not having to buy high-end shit at the time. And then you got the 60D, which, if people don't know what the 60D is, it was an entry-level DSLR.
Man, $600. I got that from ProCam. I spent like my whole check on that.
Yeah.
I probably had like $50 left.
Yeah, the DSLRs changed the game because it basically gave you a cinematic look for a low cost. So before like 2013 and stuff like that, you had to spend a few $1,000s to actually get something even close to that look. Once the DSLR came out and you were able to change lenses and you got that depth of field from the DSLRs, you were able to get a cinematic look that looked like it cost way more. So that's when accessibility started for run and gun music video directors. And you hopped in that bag. You seen it, you hopped into it, and then you started proceeding forward with it. What was like your first big video that you shot or something you feel like was substantial that put your name in the game?
I mean, my first Detroit, the first StuntHard video I dropped, I'm talking about like I couldn't even keep up with the emails. Everybody, how much for a video, how much for a video, how much, and then like when it dropped, it just organically, I'm talking about, I was refreshing it and it would be like 300, 600, 1,000, 1,200. I'm like, fuck, like that's literally was the moment when I knew like, oh yeah, I'm about to, like this shit about to be easy for me.
Do you remember what year that was?
I want to say 2015.
Okay, so like 2015, you dropped this music video. Your DMs are flooded. It's a scarcity as far as actually finding music video directors that are accessible. and you're loaded at that point. So you have a career. Like you can start a career off of this stuff. What was your next steps?
I mean, I just stuck with it. I was still working at the church, so I had income coming from that, and then I was only charging like $50. But like I said, like I already had a plan coming into it. So when I've seen the results come from the first video, I was already in the mindset of like I'm trying to be alongside of like all the other directors that's doing it. So it was easy for me to just like, and I was already coming from a video background, so I'm already working doing this shit every day. So it wasn't nothing to transition into. And then this is my shit at this point. Like I ain't got to work for nobody else. Like this is creatively just me.
Right. And you at that time, you know, again, still we're talking about like TMB, For Show magazine, right? These guys are
definitely the For Show days. Yeah,
For Show was dominating the game as well. And then you find your breakthrough with your music video. You're getting flooded with emails. And now what's like the next big project for you that comes along after that?
Rocaine, but that was just another extension of StuntHard. So Rocaine had his career, which was like, you know, he had one of the first careers in Detroit that I can say like by himself. Like Dope Boys was a group, Team Eastside was a group, but like just for like single artists and shit, I feel like Rocaine had one of the best careers as far as like organically blowing up how he did. So me and him shot intro, and the song was just hard because he was blowing up at the time. Like I said, like I done been through a lot of viral situations, and then when me and him shot intro, that's one of them another notches in my belt that just made shit bigger than what it was.
Yeah. And because you have built relationships with these people even prior to picking up the camera, there's like a trust factor in it, there's a care factor in it, and people are looking out for each other while this is happening.
Yep.
When you guys are friends and you're building this together, it's better than if you're just getting hired on the spot, right?
I mean, I guess it just depends on the relationship, because you can meet somebody tomorrow that respect your work and that's going to treat you how you feel like you should be treated, compared to somebody that's always around you that got access to you and feel like you should just be doing stuff because you should be doing it for them. Yeah. So I can't really say that, because I done definitely met people who done changed my life that I didn't know the day before.
Right, there is that aspect too, right? There is the people who are always around you so they feel like you're obligated. Yeah, entitlement, right? Because of that friendship, so it does make it harder. Now, after the Rocaine video and you're continuously blowing up, kind of walk us through like the timeline of the moments that you feel like you kept pivoting and getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So the Rocaine situation, like I said, he was one of the biggest artists at the time, which brought Chief Keef attention. I was working with Snapdog too. Me and Snapdog shot some viral ass shit. Like Snapdog was big with like the guns and shit, which was like a popular thing back then. You put guns in a video, that bitch doing numbers just because it's guns pointed at the camera. Right. I was one of the few cameramen, like I ain't gonna lie, a lot of directors don't have to deal with getting a gun pointed at their face. Like I had to deal with that when I was coming up. Like you don't even see that no more. But back in the day, like I used to have to like really pull up in the trenches. Like we got Pure Space now, like just all these different ways for y'all to be safe. But anyways.
What'd you say? Pure Space?
Pure Space. I'm just saying, like, you got so many outlets now that you can go shoot a music video. You ain't got to pull up in nobody's hood.
Oh, you mean areas you can go, like locations?
You can go
stuff.
rent some shit or be downtown. Like back in the day, you had to pull up in the trenches and the trap houses.
Getting guns pointed at you was the most fucking annoying thing. And I remember one time there was this cat that had a gun and it was loaded. And I was like to him, bro, I have to have you unload the clip before we start. He's like, bro, unless I cock the gun, there is no bullet in the head. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, take the shit and unload it. And he
My
would not
whole
do
thing was just take your finger off the trigger. Like, ain't no reason you shooting a music video right now and you feel like you got to have your hand on the trigger. Like, that just don't even make sense.
Yeah. I remember there was a news interview of some rapper that accidentally shot his cameraman. I forgot who it was. The police were like surrounding his house. They took him out and they were like, you shot your fucking director.
I believe it.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, my God, how we got away with it. And now you got the funniest new memes where directors have their camera and a gun is mounted on top of their camera. So like they're filming you while there's a pistol being pointed at you at the same time. You know, but there was a reality. That's why those memes existed, is because it was a reality. Like your life is in danger when you're shooting music videos. So talk about the progression of that though. So you're working with Snapdog, obviously, guns everywhere, going viral.
Rocaine, StuntHard was still rapping, D-Pots. Like it was like drill in Detroit. I guess that was like an era that I had to come up and go through because drill music was like real big back then. But that led me to, like I said, when I was with Snapdog, I ended up with Chief Keef for like 5 days in New York and New Jersey with his ass, and just experiencing like the rap lifestyle for the first time. And you know, like just all the type of shit that came along with being alongside Chief Keef. Like I was like really like in New York in the Sprinter, like riding around with him doing drugs, like in real life. So I guess that was the next moment that took me to the next level.
So he had seen your visuals and he just reached out to you?
I mean, he was already fucking with, like, Chief Keef was, like, really fucking with, like, Rocaine. Like, he fucked with his music. So, since I was already shooting videos with Rocaine, he knew who I was just because of, like, the work that I put out with them.
Right. So, I'm saying, like, how did he get into contacting you to actually start working with them and flying you out and stuff?
I mean, I just had to be with Snapdog and them.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just had to be with them when they was going out with him because he would, like, invite them to the show and they would bring me with him.
Right. What was it like a first time experiencing like the rapper lifestyle? We're like, no, these dudes are millionaires and we're actually doing shit right now.
All right, so look, I got a crazy ass story, and I'm glad I get to finally tell it. I was with Chief Keef for maybe an hour, and he handed me this pill, and I'm looking at it. Mind you, I ain't never did a pill before. I'm young as hell, but I'm with Chief Keef. Like my adrenaline is like way up here. So I'm looking at it, he like, oh man, if you ain't gonna take that, give it back. So now I feel like pressured into doing it. And then I don't want to look like a hoe in front of Chief Keef. So I turn around real quick and break it in half and take the first half of it. We go to the strip club in New York, Aces, and I'm feeling great. Like I feel amazing. So I end up taking the other pill. And mind you, you go to the strip club with somebody who really got some cash, like you gonna have a way different experience than sorry.
Yeah.
You're going to have a way different experience than like just somebody regular going to the strip club. I'm talking about like just way too much money, and then as soon as the bitches see the money, they get to acting, they just doing whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good. I'm like, oh yeah, this a party. So I take the other half of it, like 5 minutes kick in, I get to feeling weird. Like my mouth just get dry as fuck. I'm in the club pulling the ice cubes out the little bucket they bring the bottles in, like trying to hydrate myself because I'm feeling crazy as hell. We get back in the Sprinter. I sit in the front, Chief Keef like in the row behind me. I'm in the passenger seat next to the driver. So Chief Keef behind me, and I'm just riding, and I get to talking to God because I get to really feeling weird. Like the pill really kick in on me, and I'm like, oh yeah, something wrong. So I remember praying to God. I'm like, it's crazy, God, that you done like let me see my dreams unfold in front of my eyes. And then the first thing I do when I get out here is take some shit that I don't know what it is. And now I feel like I'm about to die. So I appreciate you for getting me this far. Like, I'm like, I'm cool with it. Just I literally I'm in my head talking to myself. I'm like, God, just don't make it hard on my mama. Like, I'm really saying this in my head. God. So I get to knocking at this the little vent for the air conditioner because I'm burning up at this point. Like, my chest on fire. So all I hear is Chief Keef behind me. He like, hey, get this nigga some water. Y'all see him? I'm trying to knock the air conditioner out because I'm overheating. So they pull over and go grab like a water or something. I couldn't even drink it. I just had to put it on my chest because my shit was on fire. But like that was my first like crazy experience with my first big artist.
Do you feel like he saved your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because he knew what was happening. He knew what he had gave me. And then when he seen me up there, like I'm struck. Like imagine somebody sitting in the driver's seat, in the passenger seat in front of you, and all they got to do is cut the air on, but they like swatting at the air because they can't even grab it, and like they just fucked up.
Jesus.
But it was cool. As soon as I got the little coldness on my chest, I started.
It's funny how you had the consciousness
again.
To be like thanking God though, like damn bro, you put me in this position and I fucked it up immediately.
I knew I was finished. I'm like, I done took some bullshit. I didn't even take pills at that point, so it was just oh fuck. I done asked on my Burberry shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were talking about before you got here the San Andreas. Like I know you know you probably don't like hearing that, but you do look like a San Andreas character, man.
It's cool. I ain't tripping. I like LA, so if I look like.
Are you talking about Ryan?
You look like CJ from San Andreas.
I'm hollering.
I see you, my boy. That's right. But look, I did that too. I brought the Miami vibes to Detroit. You gotta spice it up a little bit.
I feel like you dress like the places that you supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm. You want to bring the vibes, like, you know, something different, something to spice it up. So now you're with Chief Keef and you're with Snap and you're with the guys that are representing Detroit and really pushing it forward. Continue through the pivotal moments for you where you felt like things kept upgrading for you.
So after them, it's definitely when I linked up with like Sada and we shot Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So that video by itself, like that's just one of those organic link ups. Like he hit me up, like I got this song, I'm trying to pay you to shoot. I pulled up on him, he dropped a deposit off, we shot the video, and I seen what it did, and from there we just built a relationship.
Right, that was the first music video I ever saw by you. And so when I seen that, I was watching it like I've never seen anything like this because it had such a grittiness to it, but it was like so visually appealing. And then obviously Sada does what he does, but it was just orchestrated so perfectly. I feel like how does it come so simple to you or so easy to you to be able to give these vibes off and give these aesthetics off in your music videos when I see other people try to do it and they just can't do it?
I'm glad you asked that. First off is because I'm really from like that lifestyle, so I know what they want. I know what the rapper want to see on the screen. Another thing too, like a lot of motherfuckers don't know me because I don't broadcast myself, but I'm a dark ass person. Like I'm really dark. So when I edit music videos and they got a dark vibe to it, like I'm gonna knock that shit out the park. Like one of my favorite, like when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I used to listen to like heavy metal and shit. And one of my favorite groups was Slipknot. Mm-hmm. And they videos used to have like just this crazy, I don't know, like you could just feel their videos. And I took what they did in their videos and I just transferred it to the trap shit. And because like trap shit is inherently dark, it just made sense. So like a lot of my shit back then, like even when I was shooting Stacy, it's like more like dark, gritty.
Yeah. Even the environment and everything like that, the way you put it together, mm-hmm. That really stuck out to me. Obviously the song too, because it, I think the viral moment of, oh, I fucked my homie sister or whatever the fuck, it goes hand in hand. It's like, this is going to go viral. Your fucking name's on it. It gets a chance to show what you can do and what you can bring to the table with your visuals. And then you guys continued to work together after that, right? Like it was just a progression of constant million view videos nonstop. Mm-hmm. Was that a new relationship for you that had just been built with Sada, or did you guys know each other before that?
Yeah, that's why I said like Sada literally hit me up. Like I guess he seen a video that he liked that I shot, and this is back in the day when artists would send you. I don't know if they still do this today, but a lot of times I don't get to hear the song until
you pull up.
Yeah, and I hate that because I'll tell somebody to send me the song so I can like get a vibe for it and at least try to have like a thought process, but. This back when they would actually send you the song. I remember listening to it, and I'm just on I just need some cheese type shit. I don't know him. If he trying to spend some money, I'm not tripping. I'm about to go pull up. And I remember listening to it afterwards. I'm like, fuck this shit. And that's how it really goes a lot of times. Like, some shit will happen, and I won't know what's happening until it happened. Like, we can do some viral shit and I won't know that it's about to go viral just because I'm so used to going through the motions of like shooting videos. Like I got like over like 1,500 music videos that 900 of them is people shit, like shit people ain't seen. Like just shit that people wanted me to pull up and shoot and they never rapped again.
Right, so you already, you're going through the motion, so it's hard to detect what's happening while it's happening. And then when you hear something new like that, that's fucking insane though, right? Because that was a groundbreaking song for Detroit in its own right, in its own respect. What was the continuation from that point?
What's crazy about Sada is like, after that shit blew up, it would be times where he would hit me up and say, we about to go to Eastern Michigan. It would be even times where he would be like, where you at? And I would be riding like down 7 Mile on my way back to the east side, and he would be like, pull up, and I'll be at his grandma, in front of his grandma crib with him sitting in the car. And like I said, I'm an only child, so I'm not used to like being on no brother shit with nobody just because I ain't never had no brothers. Like I don't got no stepbrothers, no type of shit like that. So it was just crazy like having somebody actually hit me up and want to like hang out and shit. So we would be we wouldn't even be shooting videos and shit. We'd just be hanging out. and me and him just built up a good relationship with each other, which made our videos come out even better because it was just a comfortable situation for both of us.
Right. It makes it more easy when you're fucking comfortable with the person that you're shooting with, right? You kind of, and you know how to put that person out there more. You get to figure out their personalities, and that combination works together, right? So when you guys continue to work, you guys are knocking, like I said, million view videos constantly. I would say you and RJ were like huge contributors to getting the visuals and the sounds right for him as the upcoming was coming for Sada. And then obviously Lace visuals. Did you with Bloxk Party, right? So you didn't get to shoot Bloxk Party, but was it like just you didn't pick up the phone call, or like you didn't get called for it, or like how'd that happen?
They were in Houston, and it was, I think, or not Houston. It might have been like South by Southwest. I don't know the exact where they was, but they was just somewhere where it just made sense for them to shoot it right then and there. Yeah. What's crazy is I was with them when they recorded it, and this is another silly ass story. Drego, and we had a house on the east side somewhere. We not even at a studio. Like this some makeshift like type of like real vibes. And I remember Drego getting in the booth. He like, what's the bird? I know he tried to slide because his car loud. And back at the time, I had this like 2001 Honda Civic that when I cut it on, it made this crazy ass screeching noise. And I'm sitting in the studio, I'm like, bro, that shit's so fucking hard. But god damn, like I remember I used to have to like wait till everybody left to go leave because I was so embarrassed about how loud my car was. And that shit was just silly because he wasn't talking about me, but it was just a funny ass situation because I knew how my car sounded outside. Yeah, right. Talk about the breakthrough moments of that, though, progressing with him, because you did, regardless of not even hitting the Bloxk Party one, you still did hit millions of views with the countless other songs. I think you shot one of my favorite songs, which is like, nobody really talks about it, which is Casada. That's with Ashley Sorrell. Look, this was so crazy about that shit is like, I'm not even about to sit here and complain just because I'm at a place in life where it don't matter no more, but it was so many moments that other outside forces blocked things from getting out when it was supposed to get out, or stop stuff from getting out when it was going, that it killed the anticipation and vibe for it because it fucked up the momentum behind it. So with that song, that's supposed to be like a at least 15 million view song. I think it didn't even hit 1 million yet. But because, like I said, when it got shot and all that type of shit, I already seen the response from it on my Instagram, like thousands of likes, all that type of shit. They ready for it. And then we can't put it out because of these type of situations. And then when it finally dropped, it's like all the momentum is already gone from it. Right. When things drop at the right time, the return is much more enormous than when it's like just off track by even a little bit sometimes. I do think about that sometimes. Like even if like First Day Out had came out today, like would it resonated the same way? Like all that type of shit always comes into mind. But even those cats too who shot that, man, BMVP, which was Kiefer, and I love Nick, and Hustleberry Finn. Yeah, Nick Margetic, man. I love Nick. Disappeared on our ass, man. This guy went. He just more so like, he not somebody who gon', I feel like he got the type of personality where he not about to go back and forth with like rappers. Like he know what his value is, and if people not about to match that, or he feel like he not getting the type of return that he know he got for the work he putting in, that he just not going. Well, yeah, no, I'm on that type of time now where, I mean, I don't offer what he offers anymore, but one thing I will say is that it did get old quick. Like dealing with the system, dealing with like some Detroit rappers and dealing with the way stuff works, whether it comes to like ego or money or people respecting time, all of that stuff, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm done with all that, man. Like if that stuff doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to be anywhere near it. That's right. You got to really have a passion for this, because if you ain't got no passion for it, like I would have quit. I've been doing this shit for 15 years. I would have quit so long ago if I ain't have a passion for this, because I done been through whatever anybody could think of. I done been through. Yeah. If you think you done lost some money, trust me, I done shot videos, edited them, and not got paid for them. Yeah. So I do see sometimes like in the story posts, I'll see like
I'm gonna get you your money, CT. I see people say shit like that. Like, tell CT to drop the video, tell CT to do this, tell CT to do that.
Because this was crazy. I ain't doing shit until I get paid.
This is what's crazy.
I promise you. I'm not doing shit till I get paid.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, the artists know I shot something sweet. So I'm not tripping. I know I'm going to shoot some sweeter shit. So if you don't want to send the cheese or do what you got to do to handle the business, I'll let that video go and be about my business. But you going to be sitting there thinking about that video like, damn, I should just probably send him the money so he can.
Well, yeah, you know, people at the end of the day, when they're trying to save the dollar or whatever, and then they get the product back from somebody else, they're always like, oh, shit, I should have called CT, or I should have went on that person's podcast instead, or whatever the hell the case may be, right? You're trying to save money, but you're also losing out a lot, because a lot of times when I watch music videos from Detroit artists, the visuals are representative of them as an artist. So when I see your shit and the way you put it out, it makes me think about that artist in a different way. And, you know, that's the problem. You got to realize that these guys are building your aesthetic. They're building your look. When you switch it up and go shoot with somebody who's garbage or somebody who doesn't understand your look or what you're supposed to represent, it hurts you as an artist in the long run, right?
And you can't be rapping like you rich and that video look crazy. Yeah. I don't even want to hear it at that point. Like,
what happens when, for instance, when the major music videos that like they're putting all the money behind are getting shot, but you don't get hit up for like that. Like, how does that work? Even like a whole lot of Choppas situation. Like, what is it where like those productions don't they don't call for the Detroit underground? They go for like that Hollywood thing at that point.
I mean, everybody know how I feel about
what?
All right, so this is my whole thing with a whole lot of Choppas. I was in Miami with Miles, and Sada was in Miami too. I'm already feeling like I should be with him. Like, why I'm with him and not with you? So I pull up to the video shoot, and it's like a big ass set, all that type of shit. Now, mind you, I can't offer this type of shit, so I understand, but at the same time, like, after the video came out, I'm always the type of person, if I see some shit that's sweet, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all did y'all thing, y'all did exactly what y'all supposed to do. But if I see some shit, it's like, ain't no way y'all went this direction instead of this direction. So I just don't trip. I just know what I got going on. A lot of shit don't bother me. A lot of shit don't faze me. I just know at the end of the day, what I got going on is some shit I can stand on and know that my work gonna speak for itself. And when the opportunity do come, that's when I put my 100% effort into it. And then,
does it hurt as like in a relationship aspect though, like building with people? And this is just any artist, but building with the artist, and then maybe the opportunities that could help you take it to the next level, you don't get those opportunities. Like, does that hurt as like a director or somebody who's building relationships with artists?
I mean, that's why I said you got to have a passion for this, because if you don't got a passion for it, you will feel like you supposed to be in this position, and because you're not in that position, you'll quit and not understand that something better might be coming down the line. Like, a lot of the artists that we done talked about was situations that I felt like I was supposed to be way at a bigger place than what it ended at.
Yeah.
I felt like I was supposed to be doing a lot of shit with them that I didn't get to do with them, but that got me to the place that I'm at now, which is, like I said, like I'm at a comfortable, happy, like I'm literally, I can do whatever I want when I wake up in the morning. So I can't trip about the shit that happened. I just got to keep working.
No, for sure. What are some of the most pivotal moments from that though, from where we left off? Now you know you're working with Scoob, you know you're working with a lot of Detroit artists, but you're also flying out. You're working with artists out of state, chilling with Miles Bridges. Talk about some of the music videos that emerged from your time outside. And
I love Miami. I'm gonna just say that right now. Miami is if you from Detroit, like, and you'd have been to Miami and had like a real Miami trip, you know Miami is like of course you wouldn't want to stay there like in the central area where everybody be tourists and like doing the tourist shit at. But outside of Miami is like the sweetest place on earth. I just feel like it's the type of aesthetic, like it's the lifestyle for a director. You can wake up, everybody want to shoot a video. Everybody down there needs somebody to shoot something that they doing because everybody trying to show some shit off. I feel like that's just like the sweetest place to go and like make money.
Yeah. No, I see videos of y'all, man. I'm always like, what the fuck, on the yachts and shit, or the boats and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Miami crazy.
You guys do look like you're having a good motherfucking time, bro.
But yeah, on the work side, it's cool because like when you start linking with people who got the means to like fly you out, put you in a hotel, and pay for a video, it's just a different dynamic because you get to shoot stuff in a different place. You get the same shit that you was doing in Detroit. You get to go do that on a bigger scale in California, Miami, Atlanta, New York. Like places I done been, like I would only move to. Only place I really want to move to is Miami, but Detroit is like really like a good ass place for people to build a brand and take it worldwide.
You think it's still that way though to this day though, like building a music video portfolio in Detroit? Because I feel like it's like more saturated now than ever with people willing to shoot for free, and people that are like already tied in with other directors and stuff like that. It makes it more difficult to branch out. I mean, 12 Mile Kyle was just here and he found like, you know, Babytron, like, you know, a wave with Babytron and all that, but is it more difficult now than it was like 5 years ago even for a director to break out?
Man, listen, you can get monetized on YouTube for like, it's like 4,000 watch views and don't quote me, but like 5,000 or 500 or 1,000 subscribers. I had to get monetized with 10,000 subscribers. Like my shit was completely different. Like I said, like I had to pull up on people. Like right now, everybody, if you got a sweet song or you can create a sweet song or you can create some viral shit in Detroit, you'll make it tomorrow. Back then, it wasn't no platform for us to do that. So I really had to do it with just the expectation of what could come out of it.
You don't think it was a right time, right place kind of scenario? Like,
I mean, absolutely. I feel like everything I do, I mean, not everything I do, but I feel like everything that I've experienced has been divine plan for like it's literally been all this shit been planned out. So I know I was where I was supposed to be when everything was happening.
Right on. Even right now you're working with Skilla. Skilla is the biggest emergence, like how fast he grew. As a
crazy.
Like really crazy. Because I remember we all remember like I remember basketball Skilla. You probably remember Skilla when some people said he had like no hair basically.
I remember Skills,
right?
first music video like 10 years ago, Kid.
For real?
Kid. And now you see like he literally done took on that role as one of Detroit's figureheads in the rap game. Yeah.
For sure, man. Even recently, I mean, we don't know the background story, but bringing Sada and Grizzley back together.
That's what I said. Like his mindset, the way he operating, the way he moving, is just, I don't know, it's just different. Like I said, I done been around a lot of rappers and stuff, and the way Skilla done evolved and took on the role is like just somebody who's the leader. That's what leaders do. They find out what they can do to solve some shit and they make it happen.
Yeah.
That's some shit that nobody could have did besides him.
Exactly.
And then with all the talking and the gossip and all that type of shit to just keep a clear head and make that type of shit happen, like I commend all four of them for that.
I mean, I don't know if
three of them.
I don't know if I can base it off social media, but like watching his page and like people constantly mentioning, like, because for a while it was like when Skilla started working with T, then you started seeing him less with Sada, and then people were addressing that. And then the cool thing about Skilla is he would address it back. Like, okay, I don't want to talk about that, but if you guys want to talk about it, we'll figure out a way we'll talk about it.
I feel
and
like that's just a perception, though.
Huh?
I said, I feel like that's just a perception.
Exactly. But at least, though, for the people, they felt like their concerns were addressed, because when he brought them together, it's like we are listening, even though if that's just the perception. At least he's like communicating to his audience, like, "Hey, I heard you. Like, you wanted this. I'm gonna make it happen."
Yeah, I was sitting in the background. I'm just listening to him talk about it, and then to see that happen, it's just crazy. But that's why I said that's just how life go. Like, you could fall out with somebody, and then it could get to the point where it don't benefit you nothing to just squash it and move on and open up another lane for you to build whatever you got going on.
Well, yeah, because not only because it affects you and that person, but because it affects everybody around you. Because even for you, I'm sure that probably affected you. It's like at one moment you have access to work with one of the biggest artists, but because you're so loyal, or because one way or the other you decide I can't work with that person because this is happening at this moment.
It's a lot of artists that reached out to me that blew up that I didn't work with because, you know, I just don't believe in like smiling in people's faces and they got problems with each other. Like, I'm not about to be in your face and I know that you got like real problems with this person and feel like I'm supposed to, I feel like I can cross sides with you and be on that side too, making money off of both of y'all.
How much do you think it limits your potential though when that happens?
I mean, you just gotta, you can't go into the rap game and feel like there's no politics involved with it, but you can still, it's about how you move and how you not present yourself, but it's about what you stand on. Like I said, like, I'm not about to jump in nobody else beef, but if I know y'all at a certain point where I shouldn't be around you because of the type of problems you got with them, it don't make no sense for me to be trying to play both sides like that.
Right.
I can go somewhere. Either I'm going to go 10 times harder with this person or I'm going to stop working with them and go work with this person. I'm not about to bounce back and forth. I'm just put the energy into the person that I'm already working with instead of trying to build myself off of this and I already know y'all got issues. But that don't happen a lot outside of this because it's bigger than just Detroit. Like, it don't gotta be no Detroit beef. It's a lot of artists that you can work with outside of Detroit that don't got no issues with nobody, and you can do your thing.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of producers found ways around it. Like, I talked to like RJ and Helava about it, and they'd be like, they found a way to balance it. Like, your problems aren't my problems, but it's a little bit different for a producer than it is.
I was about to say it's easier for them because I feel like a videographer gotta be like really with the artist. Like a producer, all they gotta do is go meet up at the studio with them and going about their business. I gotta go to the club with them.
The crib.
I gotta sleep at the house that they sleeping at that you can't drop the location to or have no hoes pull up to because it's really like that right now. Like it's just a different type. You gotta watch. Your head gotta be on the swivel. You can't act like some shit not gonna happen to you because you walking around with this person. So you gotta you gotta accept whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
So why would I want to be on both sides of that?
So you said like Skilla like had a conversation about wanting to bring those two together. Did you were like in the room and you heard the kind of the motivational addressing of it, like to get it happening?
I mean, he probably already been talking about it, but I think we was like in LA riding around or some shit, and I just heard them talking about it because I think somebody said I think he made a tweet on Twitter like, I wonder if I get Scoob and T to get take a picture with the world get off my dick or something like that, and that's where it spawned from.
Yeah, and so that's interesting. It's good to hear that though too, because again, man, especially with Detroit music and where it's at right now, I feel like there is a new pivoting point that does need to fucking happen, and I feel like those three guys can make a new pivoting point for Detroit music. It's at it. I know everybody's saying it's doing great, but I just kind of don't believe it for some reason. I look at the
market. As far as what?
Like, I look at features like for real. Like when I see people selling features for like a certain amount of money, like money that doesn't make no sense for how much their value is.
Yeah, but who?
And I'm seeing
not who, but like
they are though. I can show you on my phone right now.
Like big artists,
like significantly. Yeah, I can show you. Literally, there's somebody who just posted a story today about a low value for
saying like big artists, like
Detroit artists. Yeah, big, like big.
I'm talking about like, so you got different tiers of like big.
Let's just say T Grizzley and Big Sean are the highest tiers of Detroit artists. I would say one step below that, those artists are doing that right now. And I'm seeing it with my own eyes, bro. I'm literally looking at their story posts. Like, I got a feature for $1,500 right now. I'm like sitting there going like, wait a minute, bro.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You got to have motion in the rap game. Like, I seen Skilla make like 100,000 in 2-3 days. So I done been around artists, and if you don't got the right type of, I don't know, you got to have the right type of it factor for that moment.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is I look at that as a gauge to say how great their music is actually doing, right? For instance, because let's just say I'm making $500,000 a year off my music. Let's just say that's a good amount of money where I don't really have to do low cost features. My value is high enough and I have enough money chilling where I don't have to pay attention to low income. I need like big numbers coming at me, right? So if your music is not paying you, then you're relying on feature money. That means something is going wrong here. That You don't see Baby Tron.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's
Throwing
what I
out
said. He
feature
got
prices
the
right now.
it factor. He on the tour right now.
Yeah.
Like Baby Tron is Baby Tron, so you gotta whatever he tell you his feature price is, that's what you gotta pay. But a lot of artists, if you pay, you just gotta know what type of artist is what type of audience they got. Baby Tron work with Cole Bennett. A lot of Detroit artists can't even call Cole Bennett and say I want to shoot a video. So off that alone, he can charge whatever he want to charge for a feature.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that's how I kind of gauge what's actually happening to me. And I might be wrong about it, but when I do look at it, it's kind of scary because it was like, all right, your music's supposed to be paying you more than these $1,000 features are supposed to be paying you.
Who
right
doing
now.
$1,000 feature?
Huh?
I said, who doing $1,000?
Bro, I want to pull up my stories right now, but I don't want to just like do that shit on camera. I'll show you after.
Yeah,
though.
you gonna have to show me.
Yeah,
after,
because it don't make no sense, bro. There's certain people who like your value is way, way, way higher than that. So that's a scare factor to me, okay? Because if you're making enough money, you're not even gonna put that on the floor.
But it's all a perception. Like
It is.
I don't care what no rapper posting on their Instagram. Like everybody posting they best shit on Instagram. You never gonna see what it's really like. They only gonna show you the most turned shit. They gonna show you the show that they at that somebody else show.
That's why I go off of feature prices. That's why I go off of when you're constantly promoting feature prices and you're a major established artist or secondary B class, whatever you want to call it. That shows me something about how much your music is actually selling. You're saying perception shows how great an artist is. They want to show how great they are. But for me, I'm looking at the feature. That's the one thing that exposes an artist to me. How much are you selling that feature for, though? And why are you doing features right now?
But I'm saying I don't know what type of artist you talking about because you said under Big Sean and shit. Like under Big Sean, you would have like
Yeah. So I'm just saying that's what I see. Look, man. I'm just telling you what I see, brother. I don't fucking make facts up. I look at Instagram and I look at that and I go like, yeah, you can't gauge shit because everybody's flaunting the best of what they got. But wait for them to drop the feature price number. Then we'll have a conversation.
I need 2,000 for a video.
That's what I'm saying. Anyways, let's get off that. That's not that fucking important. That was just a note of me saying that Detroit music does need to pivot. It does. At the end of the day, it needs to pivot. We need to have more breakout artists. We need more shit to happen. Talk about some of the guys that you were following, that you watched their rise and their success, and being a part of that process with them.
Like who?
Like even we can go back to Skilla. Skilla's the person we didn't even really get to talk about the success factor of it and watching it happen.
You know, it's crazy. Only because I'm on your show and I feel like I finally made it. I'm about to tell the world some shit they don't know. This was crazy. Ain't nobody interviewed me for never, and I got probably the most craziest Detroit stories ever.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I shot Skilla first video or whatever. Like I'm shooting videos, I'm making money at this point, so I'm pulling up doing whatever, shooting videos, no issue. Skilla started coming around, probably, I don't know when he started coming around, but he started hanging around school or whatever, and they was rapping a lot. And then, you know, me and him would still be shooting our videos or whatever. I remember it was this one time we was in Grand Rapids, and we had just fell out about some crazy shit. Like, I'm not about to go into detail about what we fell out about, but we fell out about the shit and ended up getting to a whole fight, like a real life fight about it. So, we didn't talk for probably like a year and a half after it happened. And it's just crazy now because, like I said, I just left it alone. I'm not the type of person that's about to be having no confrontation with nobody. Like, I feel like if we got into it, you got it, and then I'm going about my business. So I guess a year and a half later, like, it's just crazy to just see where me and him at now relationship-wise. Because I would have just thought that you just wouldn't fuck with somebody after that. But I guess, like I said, I'm an only child, so I ain't never experienced, like, having to fight with your brother or some shit like that because y'all done fell out about something. So it's just crazy to see how big he done got. I done came around him and seen, like, 3 days, we done been to 4 different states. G Herbo, No Cap, Kodak, Rob 49, like just these big like I done seen more artists than that in the last few days, but just seeing how you would think he been doing this for a long ass time. I mean, he has been doing it a long time, but you would think he been famous for a long time, the way that he in these type of rooms with these type of artists that everybody listening to.
Yeah. Like he holds his own.
And he in there, they treating him, they trying to rap with him. It ain't like he in there sitting in the back waiting for them to say, you want to get on this verse. Skilla go in that bitch, turn that bitch up, and they trying to get on the verse with him.
Yeah, man.
So that's crazy just seeing where he started from. Like I said, I shot his first music video. I would have never told you that he would be where he at today. But that just show you like what type of work you got to put in if you really want to. Like a lot of people think this shit is like overnight. He shot his first video like 10 years ago and been grinding ever since.
Damn. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
I ain't gonna lie. I forgot to talk about Yae Yae Jordan. Yae Yae Jordan was between Rocaine and Sada.
Yeah.
He was like super big on Detroit too.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who he is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, but the people gonna know who Yae Yae Jordan is.
I'm gonna get canceled. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So who was Yae Yae Jordan?
All right. Yae Yae Jordan was one of the... If you know who Yae Yae Jordan is, you know who Yae Yae Jordan is. So But I just had to throw that out there. Like, he was between that period. The only reason he ain't as big as he is because of the situation he in. So
okay,
they gonna know who that is.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I know, man. I know I got a lot to learn.
That's why I said, like, I'm deep in this, like, the rap culture right now. Like, I was literally a part of this shit.
Yeah, you are, man. Of course. Listen, but I always talk about how the people who bring the visuals and the people who bring the beats and the people who do the behind the scenes work are just as part of as the infrastructure of building Detroit as the artists are. It's all collaborative effort to create Detroit history.
Ain't no song without a producer. Ain't no video without the director. So
yeah. Pretty much, man. You can turn anybody into. You know, somebody was telling me the other day they're like, we don't need to have podcasts no more because we can just go on our IG and hold our phone to our face and say what we want to say and then post that. That's the same thing as a podcast. I was like, no. What podcasts do is they bring their own energy,
this was crazy though. Yeah. As soon as Gilly or Wallow called them, they gonna be flying out to go get on their show, and they gonna have a whole different opinion about podcasts when they sitting in front of them. Yeah,
because just like a producer brings that aura and that energy and makes things comfortable and gets the best out of somebody, that's what any other person behind the scenes does. They bring the best out in that person. You make somebody look like what they're supposed to look like and how they're supposed to be represented. Like, you give them a look and a style. You know what I always think about? If you hadn't shot some of the music videos you shot for, like even for Trayvon was a huge success, right? That was a huge hit song from Skilla. If somebody else had shot in the music video, because the music video, like I know you guys shot it twice, but think about it. Somebody else could have shot it and not even thought about that. Just like made it a hood shoot, like just stand in front of the porch and let's just rap it.
That's literally how the first one was, and I'm like, like I said, once I build up a relationship, like I'm with one of the people that I work with all the time. Once I build a relationship with you, I'm not about to let you just shoot no basic ass video. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about me. Like, if me and you working how we supposed to be working and the business is right how it's supposed to be, I'm going out the way to make your shit look how it's supposed to. Because when I hear your song, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel like it should be shot. So with Trayvon, it's literally, I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to shoot this shit standing on the corner and everybody standing around this bitch just on some regular hood shit, and you talking about all this empowerment and all this type of shit. Like, we gotta like sit down and make this make sense.
And for anybody to trust you with the concept too, like laying on the floor like the way he was and everything, that's a trust factor. A lot of directors don't get the trust factor from the artist to be like, yo, trust me, we should do this. For them, they're like, oh, you're going to make me look goofy, you're going to make me look stupid, like, what's going to happen here?
But when I pull up, it's literally CT, what we doing.
Yeah.
I would love to walk into a situation. I mean, I wouldn't love to, but I'm just saying, like, when I pull up, it's literally, what are we doing?
That's one thing I did notice about your career, too, is you stayed one-man show. Like, you didn't try to build, like, an army or, like, a team around you. And did that work to your favor? Like, are you happy with the way that is going?
I mean, this was crazy is I just feel like when the I've never been a person to try to force anything, because I feel like when you force stuff, that's how shit go wrong and you got to deal with all these extra problems. I feel like when it's the right time for it to happen, it's going to be the right time. So with me working with Skilla now and with him like really being like the label front runner and somebody who can I need this type of budget for this type of budget for that. He done put me in a position where I can do the type of productions where it's a crew and I can just direct, or I can work the camera if I want to. But I'm in a situation now where he done allowed me to be able to do that type of stuff. I was never against working with people, but it just had to make sense. I'm not trying to work with nobody who not about to add to what I got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm carrying you along, there's no point in you being along with me. If I'm gonna have a team of people, then it's gonna be like a fully functional production, and I'm gonna be just sitting there directing, or I'm gonna pick the camera up and work it. But I just was never into linking up with people just for the sake of linking up with them.
At the time too, when I was coming up in the 2017 era, like I said, the biggest names as far as visuals was you, Lace. What's his name? Super Ray was still around. I know Super Ray was still like making shit happen. Obviously, like I said, you have BMVP and stuff like that. Cardiac. You got a lot of these guys that were really surfacing and really building a name. Like, how do you look at those guys? Like, when you look at the peers, the people that were helping build this, like you were.
One thing that I'm big on is not watching people videos. I'll watch, like, a lot of like when Cardiac drops shit now, I always watch his shit, but I'm not the type of person that's just about to watch every music video, because I don't even want to subconsciously pick up on some shit that you got going on and be wondering why it's in my video the next time I edit something. Like I just don't like watch other people in the city videos just because I don't want to link up with that artist and be doing the same thing that you doing because I picked up on the aura that you had with them. I want to make sure my shit is organic coming into the situation.
Right.
But like I said, like my favorite, the people that I watch the most out of the city is like Jerry, Cardiac, Ty Films, Jerry, Cardiac, Ty. It's probably somebody else. Who?
2M?
2M, yeah. Fire. Yeah, and that's what's crazy about 2M is I watch his shit. I can watch his shit and not feel like I don't know. It's just weird. But I fuck with his shit heavy because just what he done did with Baby Money, like that's like the perfect example of the type of shit that I was trying to be on when I was coming up. Like you find your artist and then that artist puts you in a position to be a better director, better videographer, better editor. Like that's how this shit's supposed to work.
How do you feel like if an artist that has potential and a director that has potential are starting off, do you think money is a part of the equation that for it to move forward, or do you think you should invest in an artist with your time and they should invest with you as in building with you? What's the best strategy if you're coming up right now?
You absolutely, like I said, you got to have a passion for this shit. If you don't feel compelled enough to put your talents with somebody else's talents to make a greater product and a greater project, like that's the only way you're gonna get to the millions is if you connect with somebody else that make your gift shine better.
Yeah.
So if you can't step out the house and feel like your talent ain't enough to go link up with somebody who talented too to make some more talented shit, then you never gonna make it.
Did you ever like not take money, even though there was money? The money was the part of the transaction, but at the end of the shoot, just like no, and I would rather build with you or anything like that.
The most recent time is Payroll called me about a video.
Mm.
Payroll is payroll. I'm not about to tell that nigga nothing. Like, I'm coming out shooting a video with you. Whatever you trying to do, I'm with it. But from that, I made probably like $10,000 because of the people that watch Payroll and want the same type of videos or want to work with the same type of directors that he working with.
Right. But even if it wasn't the case that you could, it wasn't even about building your portfolio. This is payroll. Like you can't charge payroll basically. Was that kind of the concept, or was it like, I know his market's big? So
I've always been a Payroll fan, so I wasn't charging him regardless. Yeah, right. But because of, but like I said, like I wasn't charging him regardless because of what he is in Detroit.
That's what I'm saying. Like some people have that, like you get the pass for
but
almost
I'm saying
everything.
he put the work in like I said, he one of the biggest influences on me even starting doing videos in Detroit, because I used to watch him and be like, the way he representing this shit, like, I want to be a part of that shit. Like, that's the type of motivation he gave me. So I wasn't charging him to get from the get-go, but it's people that if you send me the right type of song, if you got the right type of work ethic, I'm never, you know what's crazy is, if you talented and doing what you're supposed to do in life, then the money is gonna be there.
Yeah.
It ain't never been no time where I felt like I had to go out the way for something that I really wanted to make pop off, and I had to come out of something that I wasn't willing to sacrifice.
Well, damn, I mean, it sounds like everything you've done, like, do you have no complaints about how you handled anything? Like, do you feel like you did everything the way you wanted to do it?
All this shit is like the greatest movie ever told. I was never supposed to be in this position. I'm not even my personality, not even the type of person to be in this position I'm in. So all this shit is literally, like I said, like, all this shit was planned out for me.
Yeah, man. I've been doing my best to pay attention to the music video scene, and I'm noticing like a lot of cats are doing interesting stuff. And it's a cool time to see some of the visuals. It is harder. I know it is harder for directors, man. I'm not gonna lie. I remember in 2017, if you shot a music video, you can gain heavy traction off shooting it. Nowadays, it's less so. People don't really care as much about watching your music video on your page as much. Remember when you used to drop music videos on your page? You used to get like fucking, what, like 40, 50,000 views. Now music video directors, unless you're like a Jerry or whatever, when you drop a music video, you're not gonna get views like you used to.
On YouTube?
Oh no, on Instagram. Like, you know, when you promote yourself on social media.
I ain't gonna lie, I just had a post that did like 150K.
Yeah.
My little 30-day insight thing was like, at last time I checked, I ain't checked it since because I just ain't checked the shit, but my shit was like at 225,000.
So you're still killing it with the social media.
Yeah, right.
But I noticed like back then it was like crazy for every director pretty much. Like, you were getting views when you dropped the music
on
video.
YouTube, it was crazy because on YouTube you could drop bullshit and it would have like 20,000 and you wake up the next morning type shit. So YouTube is definitely different. And then two, I think once you start transit, so like, let's say I'm a videographer and I'm just starting and I'm working with people that just started too. You could go viral and make some money off of YouTube if it go viral. But if you working with big artists that signed and that got actual deals going on, all that shit is copyrighted. You're not about to put none of that music on your page and get paid from it no more.
Yeah.
So you just got to be able to evolve and transition with the game and go through the motions.
You get lucky windows sometimes. Like when I was shooting with Scoob, like I was it would be like 1 million views before they copyrighted the bitch. So you make like a quick 5 racks, like, oh shit, like, oh, this is crazy, and then all of a sudden it disappears one day, like, oh.
Listen, like I said, you gotta evolve and go with the game and shit. And I done been through the motion, so I can tell y'all I went from like making like stupid amount of money, wake up, go to Somerset, blow it because you about to make it right back off of videos and YouTube, to like shit getting copyrighted and then you looking at your YouTube shit like trying to refigure out the purchases you done made.
Man, yeah.
So I done been through all the motions, but like I said, like, you just gotta evolve with this shit. Like, I ain't never had like one stream of income. I done always been the type of person. Like I said, I'm the videographer's videographer. I'm the nigga that they call. I'm the nigga that your favorite cameraman call when he needs somebody to shoot something. I promise you.
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna have income. I could wake up tomorrow and do some completely different shit, still in line with video stuff, but it ain't even gotta be rap videos. I literally can wake up and go to the studio tomorrow and shoot a podcast for some gospel stuff.
Yeah. You worked with Yachty's obviously built a connection with Detroit, man. You got to spend some time with him, and at his magnitude, that's a huge artist to be working with.
I worked
obviously.
with Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci.
Yachty cool, but I worked with Gucci before, like one-on-one. I worked with Gucci, and he gave me backstage passes to the show he had to my favorite artist, which is The Weeknd. Mm-hmm. So I got to be backstage and in the family and friends section at the Weeknd concert. But yeah, that's another story for another day.
All right, another day. All right, it's cool. But how'd you build the relationship with Gucci?
It's this one dude in Detroit, not Detroit, I think he from Inkster, his name OT. And this is what I said about you can meet a person. And then shout out to my nigga GT. GT, when I say GT is the type of person that whenever he get the chance to, like, he just put me in a position to be even sweeter. GT is the type of person, like, he'll link me up with somebody and I'll be out in LA for 2 weeks living my best life. So he linked me up. He had a feature with him or whatever. And then, you know, that's where the relationship started from because I shot their feature. So he took me on the road with him and he had a feature with Gucci. Paid like 50 bands for it. I ain't never seen 50,000 in my life at this time. So I'm like really like mind blown. Like Gucci walk in that bitch. His security walk in first. They count the cheese out. I'm like, fuck. Like that's 50,000 right there. Like that's crazy as hell. Like he about to come in here and rap for 10 minutes and make 50 bands quick as hell. So they shoot the video. And like I said, he brought me along with him because of the relationship with him and GT just promoting my name and putting me in that position. And I remember after we did all that, we went to the concert. I got a picture with him, like my Instagram going crazy. We get to the crib, he dropped me off. He like, before I get out the car, he like, how much you need for whatever camera that you got right now for the upgrade of it? I'm like, shit, that motherfucker cost like 4,000. Nigga pull out big dumbass wad of money, count the cheese right there, give it to me, tell me go get the camera in the morning. And that's why I said, like, I just met him. And he already understand like what type of person I am, so he entrusted me with. He want me to be better in life.
Wow, so he just pulled out a wad of cash and was like, "Go buy what you need."
Craziest shit that I ever had. I mean, not the craziest. Like it didn't happen to me a million times, but that's why I said like you just meet people along the way that help your career go further.
Yeah, and it sounds like what you're saying with GT is he already knows where he's going and where he's gonna get, so he's not gonna hold back on helping somebody else.
He don't got no issue with making me bigger because if I get bigger, he already know he can call me whenever, and we gonna pull up and shoot a video and do what we do all the time. It ain't never gonna be a point that I'm big enough that I can't answer his phone call. Right,
like it sucks when you're limited to working with somebody that they want to use you, but they don't want to do anything to progress you at the same time. And then here you are, you're meeting a random guy, which, I mean, he's Gucci, man. He's not a random guy, but to you guys don't have a close-knit relationship, but he's like, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to do whatever it takes to, like, you know, push you forward with the time I have available. And then, like you said, dealing with GT. GT's a legend too, man. GT's
Listen, I used to, and you know what's so crazy about my career is you can see, like, what type of music I was into before I really even got to work with them type of artists. Like I seen GT in Southfield when I was like working at the church, not even in the Detroit rap scene yet, and took a picture with him because I'm already listening to his music and watching his videos. And then maybe 2 years later, me and him like close. Like GT is literally a person I can call and he gonna do anything. Just when my Audi, I needed to put my Audi in the shop not a few days ago, probably a few weeks ago. And we shot a video and I told him like, shit, I need my shit out the shop. He literally tell Empire what you need and they send the cheese right over.
Wow, man.
So it's just them type of relationships that I got in this industry that it took me the long way.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's insane. It's like you have... You lived life the right way for it to happen the way it's happening, which you didn't force anything is the major perspective of everything. Yep. You just let things happen the way they were supposed to happen.
I never tried to like be in the artist's face. Like that's one thing no artist can say is I never was like in a DM like, let's shoot this. I'm not trying to charge you nothing. My whole thing is I'm going to work hard enough that I'm going to get your attention. I can work hard enough and be around somebody that you like and you're going to see their video and then you're going to call me for a video.
Right.
I just know how to work my gift and my talent to get the type of shit that I want.
Right. When you lead by example, then, you know, people are always going to tap in and want to be a part of what you got going on. When you're your own man, when you're showing like, hey, I'm really about work, I'm really about making things happen, then eventually everybody else is like, I want to work with you. Like, oh, let's be a part of this.
It's going to happen. And what's crazy is if you force it and you end up getting it, you're not going to be ready for it. Right. But if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and when it come to you when the opportunity is right and you're ready for the opportunity, then you're going to excel.
Damn, son, I needed to hear that. That's fire. That's fire. CT, wisdom, goddamn.
I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how I was going to come on your show. Like, I was going to be, like, drunk and, like, trying to be funny or, like, be, like, my real side. Like, I'm really, like, a deep meditate person.
I forgot who came on here one time and he was like to me, he said the same thing as you. He was like, bro, I was trying to come here and be on some bullshit, but he's like, I don't know. Right when I sat down, I was like, fuck that. Let me do my thing. Let me talk my shit. Well, it's important, man, because, you know, you might not know it because I don't think directors get the love all the time that somebody might have for them. You might not always hear it or know about it, right? So your peers, like for instance, like even me or another director from Detroit might be like, no, I used to watch CT. Like I used to like look at his shit and want to mimic it and take his aesthetics and his styles and his filters and figure something out. But then you're also watching all the things you accomplished, all how big your music videos got, the fact that you've generated hundreds of millions of views, all these things you're doing. So you have peers that are looking up to you, but then you have an audience that's like, yo, I fuck with this dude's visuals. Like, we fuck with how he's representing the city. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for people to hear your perspective of it too. Like, all right, here's my outlook on what happened and how things went. You know what I'm saying? I wish more people interviewed you or had you on their podcast.
But that's what's crazy.
I looked it up before you, like 2 days ago. I was like, how many interviews did CT do?
People don't understand, like, people don't talk. I mean, I'm not a standoffish person, but I'm not the person that you're not about to walk up on me and just talk to me. Like, we gotta really like know each other for me to like say something to you.
Facts.
Like, I really don't talk to people when I'm out. Like,
yeah.
And then that's my biggest thing with like being a director. Like, that's my only dilemma in life. It's like I gotta be in control and assertive over the situation, but I'm the type of person that would rather just like sit back and quietly tell somebody what to do.
Yeah. Fun fact, you were the first person to put me in a music video. Yeah. You were the first person to put me in the music video when I was on top of that waterfall with those two girls, and you told them to push me off the waterfall.
Oh, yeah. That was a heat video.
Yeah.
I got a couple years out of that situation.
What do you
Real
mean?
neat program.
Who?
I mean, I ain't gonna say their name.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
You
Damn.
know, the video should be crazy.
Yeah. That was fun.
Shout out to Blaze Baddies.
Yeah, my boy Blaze Baddies, man. Another person who's underrated in the scene. Because you know what happens, right? People like his girls will be in somebody's video or picture or whatever, and then you don't want to tag Blaze Baddies because you're like, no, I want people to think this is my shit. Like, this is my girl.
It's a certain amount of females that's in rotation right now that you know they are part of Blaze Baddies, and then a lot of y'all rappers don't be having motion to like have your own in the video, which is cool, but like I said, I already know when I see a certain type of video and I see the type of girls that be in it, I already be knowing that y'all hit up Blaze, which is cool. Shout out Blaze Baddies. But
it's a good gauge, right? Yeah, I used to have a test back in the day. Actually, me and Primo Beats were going to do this. You walk inside a Somerset Mall or Oakland Mall and see how many people come up to you and recognize who you are, right? That's like a good gauge for a Detroit rapper that has Detroit success. Like, see how many people come up to you, see how many people can talk to you, right? But now there's like a new one where it's like, if you post in your story, yo, I need females for a video shoot, how many females pull up is another gauge of how successful you might be, son.
I ain't gonna lie, I just shot a video last night, my own video. I got some shit coming out.
I seen it.
And I ain't gonna lie, every time I shoot a video, I don't gotta hit nobody else to like put nobody in my videos. And I'm not saying this to like be funny or nothing, but I don't have to pay them, so it's crazy that y'all paying women to be in the video, like y'all don't be around women every day.
It is different. You gotta hire. But
I'm saying my thing is I got enough women that I'm around that I'm cool with that I can tell them that look good, that can pull up and get in the video. I just seen a video and I'm not about to say nothing because I'm not about to body shame nobody, but ain't no way that you got like these type of women in your music video and you trying to convince me that I should listen to your music. I'm not about to listen to your music because the way the girls look in your video. So yeah, that's important.
I mean,
it's just weird. I don't know.
It is kind of wild, man. Like, I think a lot of rappers don't have perspective either. Because, like, I'll watch some of these music videos. You remember when I used to do music video reviews? I used to review music videos. And I used to watch some of these music videos and, like, do you realize how goofy you look in this music video right now? Like, there's nobody telling you that this looks fucking ridiculously stupid.
But you know what's crazy is because, I don't know, like, everybody got a certain price point. So you're going to take what you can get at the moment. But they don't understand that it's fucking up their career. And I know it's people that I know that I'm telling them that they don't got the right type of price budget for it. If you can just be creative enough, you can make some nothing into something. If you can learn how to put your iPhone camera in front of your face and edit it the right way, you can make some shit look like you can go the VHS style way. if you ain't got access to a 4K camera, you can go home video and your shit will look sweet if you got the right type of aesthetic and right mindset for it.
Bro, there was a time, I forgot whose music video I was shooting. I had a Canon C100 Mark II, which was decent at the time for music videos. And my battery had died in the middle of the shoot, and there was no way to charge this thing or anything. So I pulled out my cell phone, recorded with that, and then when I put it into the editing profile, I just converted the image to look like a CCTV camera because I had no other option. So it was like, okay, you got to be creative and you got to figure out solutions constantly. There's always going to be a problem you got to figure out.
That's what this shit is about. Like, if you feel like you got to have the best equipment, you never going to get to that point, because if you can't be creative with the least of it, then you're not going to know what to do once you get to that big stage.
Yeah, man, no, it sucks because I'm watching directors that charged $250 last year and now they're charging $150 this year. And I'm like, this isn't how it's supposed to happen.
It's a cold game out here. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I done been doing this shit so long that I done seen people who done came out against me like, oh yeah, I'm about to start shooting videos. I know y'all sick of just people seeing people smoking weed and like just like literally coming after everything I do. And then now today, they not even in the equation of anything that's going on. So it's like, either you're going to be creative with the shit and you, like I said, if you don't got a passion for it, it's not going to work for you.
Right. The people that look at it as just a business when it's a huge creative aspect to it that matters the most.
I had one of the, like a big director at the time tell me I'm not shooting music videos no more because there's no money in it. That's cool. Stop shooting music videos. You making it easier for me. Everybody that you feel like you too good to shoot for, I'm gonna go shoot for and make the money off of it, and I'm gonna keep progressing my career and making it happen until it's what it looked like.
Yeah, that's the thing that's good about your style too, is that because of the simplicity of it as far as digesting it and watching it's concerned, even though it's the great visuals, like it translates into different markets, right? So if somebody's looking for a professional look, they don't have to have the craziest things happening in the music video. They just need it composed well, they need the aesthetic, they need the way you put it together. Versus guys who constantly have to think of creative things that might not work in other markets as well. If you're doing too many crazy things, like too many different editing effects and just too many things that are kind of gimmicky, it's harder to find more people to work with and to progress. It's risky when you're trying to be a big dog in the director game. It's very risky when you're trying new things constantly and you're trying that Cole Bennett shit all the time. Because it could just make your shit look gimmicky and goofy instead of actually progressing or having a style aesthetic to it.
I feel like everybody, well, I know everybody don't realize this, but everybody got their own style that they add to the game. Mm-hmm. So when you try to mimic somebody, all you doing is limiting yourself. Yeah. I've never tried no Cole Bennett effect because I'm not Cole Bennett. I've never tried the shit that be in Baby Trying video because that's not the type of shit that I'm on. Like, I know the type of shit that I like looking at, and I know it's gonna translate to whatever people like. I don't care what you watching on this video, you're gonna watch my video and you're gonna hold it to the same regard that you held the last video, regardless of the effects, because it's about the energy that I'm putting into it and the overall big picture of the project that we putting together. Yeah. So I don't gotta try to mimic nobody's shit or try to keep up with like a lot of. What's crazy is the video game shit. You've been seeing like all the crazy ass zoom through the eye effect and like just all them. I call them like TikTok effects, like shit that you can do on your iPhone. Like even the AI shit, like motherfuckers is really. You'll put that in the video and somebody think you did something sweet, and that's some shit that you downloaded.
Yeah, that's just goofy.
So my whole thing is like, I'm not knocking it, but that's not some shit that I feel like I got to keep up with.
Yeah, it limits you when you're using things that are automated, as well as, again, when you're using somebody else's style, it doesn't help you progress your own creativity or make you come up with something unique of your own.
You're not even going to find what you got going on because you're trying to keep up with what somebody else got going on.
Yeah, that's facts. Diego's another good director that's staying consistent and really pushing things forward. He's another cat that stood the test of time because he paid attention to his productions, like you said, and consciously built them. Do you like where the game is at right now as far as Detroit music's concerned? Like, do you like the overall progression of it and the direction it's going in?
Absolutely. Like I guess from my perspective, because of the people that I came up with that was grinding around the same time I was, like everybody is on that kept working. So I love seeing from Icewear Vezo to Peasy, Sada, Skilla, Baby Money, Tay B, like all them people that was shooting and doing their thing when I was like first starting is blossoming and doing what they supposed to do right now. So I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's you grew up around a lot of the guys that are successful. I was telling RJ that too. I was like, bro, RJ, you realize like a lot of the reason that the shit's happening is because, again, if a different person made that beat, if a different person shot that video, when you're consistently working with these artists and you're helping develop the sound and building together like that, then eventually you strike gold. Like eventually you hit something where it comes together. You know what I mean? As far as collaborations is concerned, what do you feel like is the best collaborative effort that you've ever had with an artist? As far as a production?
I ain't gonna lie, me and Rocaine intro just opened up the door to like that shit solidified everything I had going on. Like that led me into the GTs and like that literally, like I said, I wasn't charging him nothing because I knew what that was gonna come of it. And that led me to being with Chief Keef and all this other shit that happened for me. So that's probably one of my biggest moments for me. Like I remember just like it was crazy about that night too is I was living with this girl at the time and my tire had went flat. And that's what I say about always about opportunity. Like you just gotta either you gonna take the chance or you gonna have to like think about what it could have been. So I remember my tire had went flat and I had to have a whole argument with my girl because she had class in the morning. She was doing homework and shit. She didn't want to let me take her car, so she had to drive me to the shoot. And I just remember like having to make that shit happen because I knew how big that video was gonna be.
Damn.
But it's a lot of situations that I had to do that, and just that's how I live my life. Like when the opportunity presents itself, like even when I don't feel like doing some shit, like I always tell myself, like you could be in a position where you don't even got the opportunity to do this. Like get your ass up and go make it happen. It's been times where I wanted to party and he done told me, no, let's go shoot this video, and it have been some shit that done brought extra cheese to me. Yeah. Right when I needed it.
Yeah. That's a huge part about being a director is your problem solving constantly.
I mean, it's a lifestyle outside of just being a director. Like you gotta balance. If your life outside of picking up a camera ain't straight, you're not gonna feel like picking up a camera.
Yeah.
So you gotta be able to balance all that shit and make the shit make sense for you to be able to thrive and be as creative as you wanna be. Yeah. Because even if you wanna be creative, if your ass hungry, ain't shit coming out of you but, oh yeah, let me make this cheese real quick and get it out the way so I can go on to the next video and make some more money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an outside perspective too. Video shoots. I was actually going to ask you this before we got off. I was going to ask you what's been the hardest parts about being a video director before we get into the other shit.
Hardest parts?
Yeah.
What's hard? I guess back in the day, what was hard for me was waiting to get paid. Like having to like spend the whole day with a person, not knowing if they was gonna hit me with the, oh, come back in 3 days, I'll give you the cheese, or here go $20, I'll give you the other $4.80 in 4 days, and then 4 days come and then they talking about next week. So that was the hardest part back then. But I guess it's really no. I done been on the corporate side and then on the entrepreneur side. So it's like everything that happened on the corporate side happened on the entrepreneur side. It's just a different form of it. So I already understand that it's just what's going to come with it. Either you're going to be up for the task or you're not up for it.
Right. Time, right? Time is a huge part about it, and getting, fulfilled for your time.
You got to put it. You either got to do it or not do it.
If you establish yourself to such a degree where when you walk in on set, people got to be ready, and I'm leaving in 2 hours, then it's a different type of respect for that director, but you're never going to get hired again, most likely. Like, your career probably won't even progress. You would have to have already somehow established a significant name. Like, if Cole Bennett flew to Detroit And he's like, okay, who wants to work? Everybody's showing up on time. And if Cole Bennett decides I'm leaving an hour early, I'm leaving it exactly at the hour we said, you can't say shit to him. But if you're an upcoming director, you might show up late. You might be like, nah, we got to stay for another 3 hours for my boy to pull up. You might do all this shit because that director is in need of what you have, which is money and maybe some clout.
But that's why I said that was the hardest part before, like, I really, like, established myself, was, like, having to deal with shit that, as a director, as somebody that's a creative, and not doing it for, like, even though you're doing it for the money, like, at the end of the day, you got to be creative. And the money don't matter when it comes time for you to put the video together. So that was the hardest part, is like having to deal with people like abusing what you had going on and not understanding the hard work that you had to put in. Like, they don't understand that you gotta make sure all these equipment is charged up before you pull up to the video shoot. They don't understand the work that it put in to just even show up with the stuff that you got with you, and then put a video together, and then you sitting there talking about you got to wait for your mans to pull up with some weed that's some mid that you could have saved until after the video shoot.
Right.
So
yeah, that is difficult. That part of it and not dying is two big parts of it. Your time being wasted and trying not to die
absolutely
are two big aspects. I got arrested during a video shoot. Me and Ball and B pulled up to a video. I pulled up to a video shoot on Ball and B behind his Bentley in the red zone. And the second he got in my car, like 10 officers surrounded us with guns drawn, getting us out the car. And they found a gun in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And we were locked up for 2 days, just like chilling. Like, oh, shit. I was like...
Chilling?
I mean, it was kind of funny because when I got in, Ball and B like made up a bunch of shit about me to everybody in the cell.
I'm saying,
he was like,
it's no chilling.
No, because he made me famous for like 10 seconds. He was like, this is Sada Baby and T Grizzley's video director. And I was like, oh yeah, you feel me?
I ain't gonna lie, I went to Westland jail for 2 hours, and I was in that, let me out right now. Wasn't shit about me in there chilling. I ain't gonna lie.
It's different for everybody, man. I feel like it was a good way to reflect on what the fuck happened in my life. Wait, why'd you end up in jail? Was it during the video shoot?
I went to Westland jail for back when weed was still illegal, for having like less than 20. My charges was paraphernalia. They didn't even charge me with no gram amount. My cousin had less than $20 on him, and they took us to jail out there. And what's so crazy is the cops turned around. We in the back of the car arrested. The cops turned around talking about, so whose heroin did we find in there? We looking at his ass like, hey man, chill out. Like, just take us to jail and let's get this over with. But I was for sure in there for 2 hours, like ready to go. They talking about they was about to take us up north somewhere 2 hours away. I'm like, hey, my shit on the way. The money not no issue. I'll be up out of here.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. Do you have any on-site scary moments from like actually being on site on the field?
Yeah. So we was talking about shootouts. It was this one video shoot, and this back in the day, back when like my car was fucked up and I didn't want to be driving around all the time because I had to monitor the oil level and all that weird ass shit. So I remember getting in the car with these two artists, and they was like from Puritan, so they was like on some street ass shit, whatever. We get to the show, and they rapping on stage, and they get to arguing with some niggas in the crowd, and then they just drop the mic, walk outside. So mind you, I'm in the car with them, and I'm stupid at this time. Uber, I don't even think Uber and Lyft was like some predominant shit that you could just be like, oh yeah. And I don't think I even had an iPhone. So I'm outside running towards them because they got the car. I'm trying not to get left down there. Mind you, like I used to do this video shit by myself, so I used to have to pull up in the trenches around niggas I didn't know. All that type of situation, like just a whole bunch of uncertainty and like just be around type of people, like just situations I didn't know was going on. So I remember getting outside the door, and I just remember bullets flying over my head. And then what's so crazy is the Charger that I came in, I hop in the back seat. I'm scared as fuck. Like I literally hear bullets flying over my shit. I'm running with the camera. Nigga in the front seat, in the passenger seat, getting the car, head leaking. Ooh. He talking about, they grazed me. He like bleeding out the side of his head. He like just rocking back and forth. So I'm in the back seat. They downtown like blowing all the lights, almost hitting people, like trying to get this nigga to the hospital. And I remember just getting him to the hospital. My girl had to come pick me up. it was just a whole like I didn't get paid that night.
Yeah.
So that's why I said like that was the hardest shit about shooting videos back then is you had to wait for somebody to pay you. Now I'm not showing up until I got like some type of cheese in my pocket. Back then I used to have to sit around for 4 or 6 hours waiting to see if I was gonna get paid, and then some bullshit like that would happen and I not get paid and I done wasted the whole night.
Yeah. That's the thing about that job was it's like not only it's the only job where you're a creative where your life is in danger.
Man, what?
Like, name another career where you're a creative person, but you have a chance of dying every 5 seconds. Basically.
But what's crazy is before I started shooting videos, like I said, I grew up on 7 Mile and Archdale. Before I was like really locked in shooting the videos and shit, like I said, I was around StuntHard and shit before like they really started shooting videos and shit. My friends they was going down a lifestyle that, you know what I'm saying, like if I would have went down that same lifestyle, I probably would have been on some whole different shit. Like I remember being around them at points where guns got pulled out and niggas started shooting type shit. I'm young as hell, like in the middle of this shit. Like I'm not even on that type of shit. Like I'm around them because we grew up around each other type shit, but I used to have to I grew up around the shit that I'm shooting right now, to be honest. Like, that's the type of shit that got me into the video shit is because I was around this shit already, so people knew that they could have me pull up and shoot this type of stuff for them.
Yeah, because you were already in it.
I'm with them, but I'm not with them. Like, I literally grew up on 7 Mile. Like, people would tell you I was around that motherfucker skateboarding. Yeah. But that's what made that's what made me get into videos is because I was watching, like, Pharrell and shit with his skate team on YouTube. Before like niggas even knew what YouTube was. Like back when Unforgettable, like before viral videos really came out, I was on YouTube already. Like I got a video from my first YouTube channel that probably got like 100,000 views of me just uploading some random shit because I understood like the algorithm back then.
Yeah. Yeah, you were already in it. You already had a good understanding of not only the processing part of uploading and YouTube and the social media aspect of it, but also the street. Like that's why you're such a good combination. It's like you understood what you were creating and you also understood the technical aspect of it too. CT, legendary talk, man. This was fun. I'm gonna have you back on soon. Get more updates, get more into these stories. Of course, we can't talk about everything.
I was about to say, hopefully don't nobody feel no type of way about nothing I said. But
I don't think so. You didn't say anything that was outrageous.
I tried to keep it, you know.
No, legendary talk, man. CT Films was in the building. High Low Visual Shootings Productions. We're at Parallel Sound Studio. We're out. Peace.